Hi everybody, I'm Ed.
And I'm Barb.
And we're the Streeters.
Welcome to the ARTyRV Livestream tonight.
Hey everybody.
We're doing a Q&A. So if you have a question, just put it in the chat and we'll be happy to answer you. Welcome everyone.
I know, we got a lot of people in the chat room tonight, and I want to just knock out our number one first in line tonight that jumped into the chat was I Am Alan, and I want to thank you, Alan, for those glass cutters. You sent us that package, and we're going to talk about those tonight during Glass Chat. Thank you very much for sending those in.
So Emily's here, Julie's here, Melissa's here, Brandon, Mark Mason, CM, Kat St. Jane, all these people that have always been here, and some new people are here. Larry, Anita, Melissa is a member. Pauline is here, Larry Murray, Magali,
Larry Mary,
Brenda, Kathy. I hope I got everyone. And Ray is here.
I know, and I just wanted to tell Larry that one of our very closest friends is the biggest Star Wars fan you ever seen. And when we flipped the calendar over to May and she saw it, she has to have that picture. So we want to thank you again for sending us that awesome calendar with all the hot air balloons in it. Thank you again, Larry.
Yeah, that was great. My friend went crazy when she saw that. So welcome everyone, and if you have a question, put it in the chat. I hope you're having a great week. We have some announcements to make, and then we'll get started with the questions. So just put the question in the chat.
Yeah, so hi everybody. And Ray, I want to thank you for sending me that information via email. I have seen that video before, and it's amazing to do it. And I haven't ever tried it myself, but I'm sure there's a lot of people. If you want to put that link up there for everybody, I'm sure they may want to check that out too, Ray. Thank you.
Ray shared a video with us of someone cutting glass underwater with scissors.
With scissors, yeah. It has to be done a very specific way.
Ray, if you want to put that link in there, others might want to see that being done. I have no idea.
Well, it works out pretty good. I mean, it's just basically it's about the pressure in the water and the scissors. You're not really, well, technically you are cutting the glass, but you're just like rounding the edges. It's almost like your scissors are grousing pliers, and the water kind of holds everything together. So, but check it out. It's a lot of fun to watch, and it's definitely a lot of fun to do. It looks like it. I've never tried it, but
it's something you can do to amaze your friends and neighbors.
Yeah, you can say, hey, I can cut glass underwater with scissors. Can you believe it?
Yeah.
And that's right. You can believe it.
Okay.
So we've got a beautiful evening down here in South Carolina. Sunny South Carolina, Barb. Sunny South Carolina. Yeah, it's a
beautiful day here today, and we've been enjoying this beautiful sunny weather.
And Barbara went to the doctor today, and she got an A.
Doctor gave me an A+.
Plus.
So that was good. So I was happy.
So she got an A+, and we're so happy about that. It's a good feeling when her doctor is actually bored with her because she's not a very exciting patient.
Yeah, I'm very boring. Julie said she thought the frame around the sailboat behind us was lighter. No, it's always
It's always been dark. It's always been blue since we moved into this building because we painted it the same blue as we have in our offices on the wall. But yeah, it is. It's dark. It was light originally, Julie.
And it had a flood
10 years ago, and it had a watermark on it from the flood back in 1999. So we had I guess we just really got tired of looking at that, and then we thought by painting it blue, it sure made the sales pop and everything. So now we're enjoying it like that. We may change colors some other time.
Yeah. Jennifer says, "Happy Glass Night." Happy Glass Night, everybody.
Happy Glass Night, everybody.
Welcome to Glass Night. It's Monday night. Let's go ahead
It's Monday Glass Night, Barb.
Tell everyone. Let's get this out of the way real quick.
Okay.
And I know we say this every week, but
we want y'all, if you have time, to jot it on your calendar and please try to go to it.
Glass Art Society, the GAS conference is in Detroit, June 6th. So if you're a member or want to be a member or just want to hang out with all the cool glass guys that blow glass, it's in Detroit.
Right. Well, and you'll see glass is a very fascinating medium that we all work with. It's some of us work at different temperatures. Some of us even work at all of the temperatures. And that is, it's really exciting to be able to manipulate glass and stuff like that. And this may even just give you that little insight look that if you're thinking about getting a kiln or something, these guys don't just blow glass. These are fusers. These guys do glass, okay? So if you get a chance, pop into Detroit next weekend for the week or just a couple of days or even a day just to watch the demonstrations at the Detroit Museum.
Really cool.
I mean, it's definitely worth the trip if you're close up there to Detroit, because if you're in New York or Ohio, you can just drop down and roll over into the lake, over to the other side of the lake, and you're good to go.
Okay, I got one question came in, right?
Hey,
one question,
great, yeah.
Question. This is from A.K. Martinez. Looking to add some copper beads to some work. When I look at my favorite bead site, Fire Mountain, I find stuff like copper plated, steel, and zinc-based alloy. Are these going to work?
Well, the copper will work, and most of your safety wire, AK, most of your wire that you put around your sun catchers and everything is actually, along with the zinc, or your rebars, is nickel plated. So if you have something that's nickel plated, your solder will stick to it. But if you can get copper or even brass will take solder. You just have to get it a little bit hotter. But yeah, if you can get it, adding beads to your work, AK, is just going to set you apart from everyone else in the neighborhood. That's the cool part.
Now that's copper plated, steel.
Yeah, that's fine. It's still got the copper.
Zinc-based alloy. Okay, yeah. So that's good.
Yeah, that's good. I believe that'll work. I really do. And the copper base, because not everything is solid copper that we purchase these days anyway, because copper is so expensive.
That's right.
It's not. Yeah, it's expensive to mine. So in other words, that trickle down effect comes back to us, the consumer. So.
Okay, and Larry Van Horn, will an adjustment 3/8 inch copper U cane make a strong edge frame for a 22 by 14 inch foiled flat panel? And then he's going to patina it in copper.
Yeah, I mean, you could do that, but the only thing is I don't know how to tell you to hang it, okay? Because copper wire that sticks to zinc eventually will stretch and break, so I'm not real sure.
This is 3/8 inch
copper U around the outside.
Yeah,
that's plenty rigid enough. It's plenty rigid enough to hold the panel together, and even if you wanted to lean it in a window, that would be fine. But even if it's got the zinc around it, what I would end up doing is I would still put a wooden frame around it and then hang it.
Well, there's no need to put the copper around the outside.
Right, but if you have a way to hang zinc that will stay there, I think that's a great idea. And the patina, the copper patina will work on the zinc, but you have to get zinc patina.
So I don't know if he's got any zinc.
we're finding that out is that the copper U, it's probably brass. Well, they do make copper cane too, but either way, make sure you clean it really well before you try to patina it. And they do make patina specifically for zinc and copper. So you may have to just order you a little 8-ounce bottle of whatever you're looking for that specific job. So I just say, you know what? The thing about the zinc, y'all, and hanging stuff from it.
Am I seeing zinc? I mean, is copper?
No, but the copper, it's a U channel. It's the same thing.
As zinc?
Well, it's not. No, it's a different metal. But what it does is it's still, there's just nowhere to, there's nothing that, you can attach a lot of different things to it. But what worries me is eventually gravity is going to pull that wire apart. That's what worries me. So if you're putting a window inside of a window and putting molding around it, you don't have to worry about that. And if you're building a small window and you're putting wood around it, you don't have to worry about that, because you have a way to hang it, but you don't have I guess you could drill holes in your copper or your
U-cane, yeah.
Yeah, your U-cane, but then you got to find something that you can actually put in there that's not going to stretch and eventually tear. So that they don't make you can't just tack solder jump rings to the side of a piece of brass or copper, because eventually the solder is going to stretch and turn loose. So I'm not sure, jump rings and stuff like that, they work on small stuff, but as you start adding weight to it, a 14 by 22 window should probably weigh somewhere around 12 or 13 pounds. That's a lot of weight.
Okay, so to answer your question, 3/8-inch copper U cane is strong enough for that foiled flat panel 22 by 14.
Right.
But we just don't know how you're going to attach the hooks. So
yeah. So
whatever is your normal way to do that, if you know.
And you know what? And if you do that and you get that done and you can send that into Viewer Showcase, I want to see how you hang that. I want to see your hangers for that project, if you don't mind, please. Because I just want to see it. That's the reason I don't use it, is because I haven't found anything that stays forever, and I'm a forever guy. So.
And he doesn't know everything. So
and I don't know everything. Everybody, like I told the ladies and gentlemen this weekend in this weekend's class, is I don't pretend to know everything. All I can show you is what I know and tell you what I know. And everybody has different techniques that they use. So if you've got something that will help me out, my door is open, okay? And it's always open, because if you're not learning, why be around?
Why would you be here?
Right.
Okay.
You should learn every day.
Thank you, Ed. Martha Crowder has a question. Pauline said she used the twisted lead around her panel and it turned out great.
I saw that.
Thank you, Pauline. Martha Crowder has a question. She's making a butterfly sun catcher for her granddaughter, and do I need to use hobby came around the outside?
You could, and because what that does is it puts a really pretty finish on the outside. And then if it's something that your granddaughter is going to hang in her window and stuff, you don't really have to, unless she's going to eat the lead, you don't have to worry about her getting lead poisoning or anything like that. So, but I would use the hobby cane. Like I said, Barbara's great aunt used to use hobby cane around her sun catchers. And I always thought they were so petite and finished, and they just looked so professional, didn't they? Mm-hmm. Your great aunt's stained glass work was so pretty.
But she still put the wire down into
the hanger has to go
sun catcher,
into
not
the
on
sun
the hobby
catcher.
cane.
Because it doesn't matter, Martha, it doesn't matter how much you stretch that lead, it's still going to continue to stretch if you hang a hanger on the lead only. So make sure you run the hanger down into the sun catcher so that it's pulling on the sun catcher, not just the lead. And you should be fine.
Last forever.
Yeah, you should be fine.
Pauline wants to know, when you twist the lead to put it in the vise, should it be stretched first and then put in the drill and twist it?
Oh, you could stretch it, sure. You know what, Pauline, that's a good question, because I don't remember if I stretched it before or not. But you know what? I probably stretched it, and then as soon as I pulled it out of the vise on the other end, I stuck the drill on it and then started twisting it. And I brought a panel here to show y'all that has the twisted lead frame around it. But I also want you to see that this has jump rings on it, and they're built so that they go down inside the copper foil on the edge right here. Nothing's hanging from the lead. It's all hanging.
So it goes down in.
So it goes down into here. It's hanging. It's pulling on all of this rather than just that. So make sure that, and the lead frame is just a nice little thing. This only weighs, what would you think, Barb, 2 pounds maybe? So a jump ring is fine for this. So. And the lead frame is just a little quick, easy way to finish off a panel and make it look nice for whoever you decide you're going to give it to.
Rocky Raccoon wants to know, can we post photos to the chat? He has a lampshade and can't tell if it's an Odyssey or Warden and would like some feedback. Thank you, CM.
Oh wow. You got that light going tonight, and behind one of the most beautiful pieces of glass that we have purchased for the Merle's Inlet project. So I can't wait to show you that.
Thank you, CM. We really appreciate
absolutely.
that.
Thank you very much.
Rocky, I do not have a way to post photos in the chat, but if you'd like to send me a photo, go to conwayglass.com, ARTyRV, and there'll be a link that you can send me a message, and I'll send you a link, and you can send a photo to me. And I'll be glad to look at it for you. Or Ed.
Well, we'll both look at it. We'll take we'll take a look at it.
Okay. Let's see. Another question, Julie. At the very tip of the sails on your sailboat, how did you make it fit so nice and not be jumbled with solder? Can you show a demo with that many pieces of lead coming to a point soon?
You know what? Soon, yeah. We can do that because I can't
remember how that goes.
There's 7 pieces of lead that are into one
That's
point.
Tricky, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that tricky?
So they have to be I can explain to you, but I mean we can show you.
That's a great question.
And maybe Barbara can do a short because we've got some soldering coming up. So yeah, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 7 pieces of lead coming into one. The main thing that I did is the center line on the coming out of the sail goes all the way through to the top, and then the other 6 pieces come in. And as I went in, I kept mitering and cutting them back and bringing them back shallower and shallower as I worked my way around, and it worked itself out. And I'm going to be honest with you, I'm glad that you took notice of that, because honestly, when I built that sailboat, I had really no idea what in the world I was doing.
You learned.
Yeah.
It was fun.
It really was
CM.
fun.
CM, thank you so much. Yes, we reached our goal. We got the
16,102 right now. I didn't change the thing.
That says 16,002,
but we did. We got 16,000 viewers. You know.
But the people that matter are
I mean.
right here tonight.
Yeah.
These are the people that matter. These are the people that we interact with every week, and
they show up every week, and they test us sometimes.
They keep us on our toes.
They keep us on our toes.
Okay.
Right.
Brandon has a question.
Hey, Brandon.
Is there a difference working with lead-free solder versus 60/40 solder?
Yeah, the lead-free solder is going to react a lot differently. Typically, lead-free solder is used for jewelry. I haven't ever heard of anybody using lead-free solder on windows to solder caming together. I'm not really sure how that would work, and it's awful expensive to be doing large windows with. And I'm sure it works pretty good. So 60/40 solder you're using on copper foil. No reason to use 60/40 when you're doing lead came, because you're not patining the solder joints. And typically, the only reason you're using 60/40 on your copper foil product is because you're going to use the patina that they make for it. And what happens is that it is designed to patina the tin. It has nothing to do with the lead.
And the 60/40 flows.
And it does, because it works at a little bit higher temperature, about 6 degrees. And y'all, 6 degrees doesn't sound like a lot, but it really, you can tell the difference.
The lead-free solder is harder to work with,
Yeah.
and you wouldn't use that on regular. You use that on food things that you touch with your hands,
Or jewelry,
things
earrings,
you wear,
things like that.
Not food.
Yeah.
Not food.
Yeah, you don't fool with food with it, right? But you don't want to spend the money to use lead-free solder. Now, well, if you have some sort of an allergy or something and you need to use it, that's a whole other ball game. That's your deal. But I'm just saying that the lead-free solder is much more expensive, harder to work with, and really on your cane doesn't really change anything other than the fact it costs you more money to do your project.
That's right. Let's give a shout out to Sunshine Glassworks. They're our sponsor tonight.
That's right, Barb. And we do want to thank Sunshine for their sponsorship. And when we got here to the studios this afternoon, we had a big box sitting by the front door.
Oh, we're going to talk about that. We're going to do a box opening when you unpack that, because I want everybody to see
Right.
How they pack their glass and how easy it is to get a shipment.
Yeah.
Because I heard some people saying, well, if I order glass, that they put it in this wooden crate, and they have to ship it to me, and it costs a lot of money.
Right.
Well, we get our glass in cardboard boxes, and they ship it, and we've never had a problem with
This
it
particular
breaking.
box we're going to be opening, I've got 3 32 by 42s cut into 4 sections, or 12 pieces in this one box. And hey, they shipped it on Friday and it's here. So thank you guys. And again, thank you Sunshine for being a sponsor of our show. And I did want to let you know that over in Sunshine's last call bin on their website is a cabinet door CD-ROM that you can order. It's in the last call. And there's over 300 stained glass designs for cabinet doors, side lights, and entryways. So you might want to check that out.
Now, are the glass colors on there too, so they could share those with
I
their
believe
clients and
I
things?
believe the colors are in here too.
So
yeah.
this is a good resource if you're building out cabinet doors for clients.
And it's a nice CD-ROM. Apparently, it's easy to.
If you have a CD.
If you
A lot
have
of
a
people don't
CD,
even
yeah,
have
I don't have one in my computer because I use something different. But anyway, so you can check this out, and there are 300 stained glass cabinet door designs that can be used in side lights, entryways, bathrooms, anything you want to do. Your little heart can take care of this right here in this CD. So I thought I'd show that
Last
because
call
we're
for
not.
that at Sunshine.
Last call for this at Sunshine on their website. Check it out.
Pauline has a question. Going to have to make a pair of earrings to go with that beautiful necklace. Yes, I have pierced ears.
Yeah, so as she does. And hey, Pauline, a couple of our students this weekend were interested in the microwave kiln. Now, Barbara and I have never tried one, but I did tell them that you had one and had made Barbara a beautiful necklace and sent it to her. And so they were excited about that because I think they're going to get a little kiln for their microwave and just try it because it's great for fusing jewelry. And I'm sure that
Magali has one too.
Yeah, Magali, that's right. Magali does have one. So you guys rock. And if you have any things about it that you just want to put on the chat and say anything about it, let us know, and then we'll let our students know. But I think that the kiln has been around for a long time, Barb. That
Magali
microwave
likes my
kiln.
cup. Oops.
Oh
no, I
yeah.
didn't
Well,
even-
life is better at the campsite, y'all.
Life is better at the campsite. Yeah, this is my favorite cup.
So, and we want to thank our students for coming down this weekend, driving over. Some of you drove over an hour to get to class every day. And we had 2 students that drove 4 hours from southern South Carolina to come up and spend the weekend and take the class with us. So we want to thank everybody for taking the class. We hope that you enjoyed it and that you're learning and that you'll come back and see us again soon. Thank you again, everybody, for this weekend at the classes in the studio.
Yeah, I'll post those pictures tomorrow. I've got some cute photos from the weekend and the projects I worked on and them working together.
Oh, we had a good time.
It was a great weekend.
Yeah, we had
it
a
really
good time.
was.
And it was funny because the weather actually held out. It could have been really humid and nasty. And So we got rain, and then we got wind, and it just worked out perfect. It was kind of comfortable for the weekend.
Okay. Magali, I thought you had a microwave kiln, but I may be mistaken. Okay. Yes.
She has the 8x8, the little Bam Bam, the Gen kiln, the 8x8 kiln.
Okay. I don't know why I thought you had the
That's
other.
okay. She's rocking too.
I know.
Everybody's
Okay.
rocking tonight,
I know.
everybody.
I'm getting old. I forget. Okay. So
Y'all, she's
you got
not
a
that
question? You got any questions? Just put them in the chat, and we'll be happy to answer. I have one more time. No, a couple more weeks.
Couple
we
more
got that
weeks.
Wismax sale coming up, June 16th and 17th, 8 to 4. So
And
big glass sale.
Yeah, and Barb, we had oddly enough, the couple that drove up from Walterboro this weekend, they're from West Virginia, and then some other friends of ours that took classes last month, they're all from West Virginia. So we've got a pile of people going to West Virginia so far. So, and if you
Look out,
do,
Wismop.
yeah, look out. And if you guys live up there in Northern Virginia, from what I understand, it's not that far from Maryland to go into the mountains of West Virginia, and you're right there at Paden City. And again, if you're on your way back from Detroit, jump on 77 and come on down and buzz into West Virginia and take up a glass sale.
That's right. Now we have glass blowing classes coming up. They're all sold out until November 19th. We'll be posting that class. Probably be about 2 weeks before that class comes online.
About 2 weeks, yeah.
If you want to take a glass blowing class, November 19th, then the December classes will come up.
They'll come up late September, right? Or October? September.
Yeah, late September.
September.
And then we have a beginner class in January, and it's already up. So if you guys need a beginner class or refresher,
or just want to spend a
Or
bunch
just
of
wanna come
time
and see
learning how to
us.
cut glass, though.
we have that class online.
Yeah, because we do spend a lot of time on our beginner stained glass class, just learning how to cut glass. I mean, it's imperative, because we can, you or I can show anyone how to foil. You or I can show a lot of people how to do all of the steps. But the two steps that you have to learn them, are soldering and cutting. And cutting, I think, until you're proficient at it, we need to practice.
Yes, practice.
I think practice.
We put a video out today. It's a 5-minute video just on glass cutting, and it's from the demo from about a month ago from a live stream.
That's
and Ed
right.
did about 5 demos that night, and we put them. He did 5 demos that night, and we put them in a video, put them all together, and shortened it and made it 5 minutes. So he does straight line with. I don't think he uses
With grousing pliers.
Grouse and pliers.
Do straight line with running pliers. We do curved lines with grousers.
Mm-hmm.
And we just make a lot of
Score
different
one.
point.
You do score one.
And then I
Some
show you how to
score
use
one.
the Score 1 glass cutter for cutting lamp parts.
And
So-
that's the long version. Y'all may have seen a short version on the Score 1 that came out. This is longer. It takes you all the way through the steps. So if you need a refresher, it's the last video we put out.
Right.
Okay, we have a question. Pauline, I think about a microwave kiln. If you can't use your microwave, you have to have one just for that. Yes. Jennifer, question.
Hey Jen, how are you?
What is art glass and how is it different from regular cathedral stained glass I use?
Well, the art glass is a classification of stained glass. A classification being because of what it's fabricated with, and it's put together, and it becomes art glass. But there's also the manufacturers make art glass. Cathedral glass is cathedral glass, just like opaque glass is opaque glass. The guys, let me tell you, the guys that mix the glass in the factories are the ones that make art glass, I think. the art glass, Jan, is just
There's no difference.
There's no
between
difference.
art
It's just a
glass.
classification. Yeah. So
It's a
this
fancy name.
It's a fancy name for
glass.
absolutely for any kind of glass. It doesn't matter if it's cathedral, streaky, wispy, any of those. They're all art glasses, and it's a simple name for the distributors to hang on to too. It's just art glass.
A lot of times you'll find the name art glass, like Chicago art glass. They were a little pricier glass, a little bit smaller sheets, a little bit fancier, thicker, more texture.
And limited runs.
Limited runs, that kind of thing. So that's more or less what they call art glass. But really, it's a broad term for stained glass, and for anything made of stained glass
is art glass. So if
you
go
could
to
call a stained glass window art glass.
This is art glass right here. So this is art glass. My sailboat, that's art glass. So it's just a very
broad term.
It's a very broad term, and it's not even and it is kind of a classification because of what it is. But it's classifying itself, so it's kind of redundant. So this piece of glass that we have right here behind us
could be considered
be considered art glass. This is an Armstrong, everybody. This is an Armstrong. It's an AO, Armstrong Opalescent 65 SI, streaky iridized. And this, let me tell you the color.
You can see the iridized.
Can you see it? Let me tell you the colors in this thing. Let me read them off. All right, so it's clear, opal, and pink iridized. The clear opal is what's giving it that streaky. The pinks and the white that's running through it, when the pink hits the white, it turns it an ambery orange, sunset-y color. And this is, Barbara knows exactly why we bought this piece of glass, because it is a sunset all by itself.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
It's gorgeous.
It really
or a sunrise. I mean, it depends if the sun's shining or not. So, what is it? Red sky at night, sailor delight. Red sky at dawn, sailor be warm.
I don't know if that's right or not, but
I'm not
it sounds
sure
good,
either.
Ed.
Sounds good.
Okay.
I'm a poet, don't know it.
Les wants to know, did Ed ever get his German grousing pliers?
I did.
Schnibble
I did
shits?
not, because let me tell you why. Okay, I looked at one set. It wasn't the manufacturer that actually makes them, the German manufacturer, but I did find them at Bohl, and Bohle, and I've got Bohl. I'm trying to get them to send me a pair of them, because if I don't like them, I really don't want to spend $80 on a pair of pliers.
We don't get them wholesale.
I don't get them wholesale. So I'm trying to get Bohl to send me a pair so that we can show them here on our chat.
And maybe find some new ways.
And maybe find some new ways to use them. So the ones that the running pliers that were sent to me didn't have the swivel on the top head. So what good were they? They're no good. And they were still like $73. And I had to buy 3 pair. I don't need $210 worth of running pliers I can't use, y'all.
Oh yeah, you had to buy a whole case.
I had to buy 3. Yeah, that's a pack.
A pack.
So I'm working with. I'm gonna waiting to hear back from Bohl and see if they'll send me. Bohl's a big corporation and they're international. I don't think they're gonna have a problem sending me a pair of Schnivelschmitts. And when they do, then we will use them, y'all. I just don't feel. Yeah, we'll try them out. I just don't feel that I should spend the $80 to tell you that I don't like them, so you don't have to spend the $80.
Well, that's your job, Mr. Streeter.
I know it, but I'm going to get a pair for free. So let me work on it.
Work with them.
Yeah, just wait just a little bit. And, or I tell you what, if you got a pair and you're not sure how to use them, you want to send them to me, I'll send them back to you. I'll show them.
Yeah.
I'll show them for you. Like I said, I have other things that I need to do. And, I use my grousing pliers so proficiently, y'all, that those little things, I mean, they will help y'all, but I use my grousers very proficiently.
Well, he's just used to it.
I'm just used to it. Yeah, it just comes natural. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to toot my own horn. Whoop, whoop. And because Miss Mary's sleeping. But I will, if I can get those pliers sent to me by Bohl, I will demonstrate them for you and we'll talk about it. Because I think what they're going to do is they're going to eliminate a rainbow cut for you.
Yeah, I think they are.
That's what that is. It's a rainbow cut eliminator.
Red sky at night, sailor delight.
Okay.
Red sky in the morning, sailor warning.
Okay.
Or sailor take warning.
Ray, thank you. I'm glad you looked that up.
And also Judith.
Judith, thank you, Judith, because I figured I would get it reversed. So.
Yeah. So yeah.
But
so that
that sky set that glass says it all right there.
Yeah.
Says it all. Now, and y'all keep talking about the sailboat. The sailboat is made specifically out of spectrum glass.
It's all spectrum.
It's all spectrum. Every bit of it.
That's
Well, back in the 70s, the spectrum
that was it. That was the big thing.
Man,
spectrum.
They were rocking.
We would sell it in our store like nobody's business.
We would cases of it. I'm glad you said that, because we would sell cases of that stuff. It was good.
Yeah,
it was good.
And they had all those colors. It was
yeah, it was
good
really
company,
pretty. And they have a lot of good colors now.
Easy to cut. People loved it.
Yeah. But anyway, it's really, that is all spectrum glass, every bit of it. And I was real happy to be able to build that window on my dining room table.
Okay, Ed, they got the show coming up in Richmond as well, June 5th.
And they're offering
June 5th
you
through the 11th.
Yeah, they're offering you a lot of classes. That's just next week.
Yeah.
So you can pop
American Glass Guild show.
The AGG show is what it is. Check it out. Look them up. They're in Richmond, agg.org, and they will. You can check out their individual membership is $48 a year, and their student membership is $24. And then, so it's something. Some of these organizations you may want to get involved in. These guys are really, a lot of them are all about painting on glass and doing things with heat on glass. And these guys are really, really, really interesting. A lot of these people from all over the country are really interesting at what they do. And it's always good to mingle with people and meet new people and find out what they do. And we met a lady in Corning, and we picked up a job, and she lives in Canada, and we picked up a job from her. So those things kind of just work out.
I don't know what that question is. What's your favorite stalker tax? I don't know what that means.
I don't know. I was
Mimi's got a question.
Hey, Mimi.
And hello to Ella from Southern Ohio. But Mimi asks, I was a few minutes late as I had to climb out of my... Oh, did you remember to bring the sample of rebar?
I can go get one real quick. It's just right next door. Barbara can talk to you, and I'll go get a piece of rebar.
You tell me where it is, and I'll go get it.
I think it's actually in that one of those cases of lead right there that's got the zinc in it.
Okay.
I think
I'll
it's
be right
there.
back.
I'm pretty sure it's right there.
Okay. And
I'll keep everybody entertained tonight, and give me a question.
Okay. I'll try to find a question here. Is there an easy way to unsolder a foil piece? That came in this week.
That's like unringing a bell. I'm not sure that'll... well, actually, you know what? This question comes from Gail. And Gail, we want to thank you for sending in your question. So Gail's question tonight is there an easy way to unsolder a foiled piece? I don't think that there's any easy way of unsoldering anything. They make the solder wicks. That's when you melt the solder, you put it in there and it picks it up. But what I found doing repair work on copper foil pieces, everybody, is the fact that if I've got to get a piece out to repair it, I actually just stand that window up and take my soldering iron and start it at the top of that solder joint and just run it down and let that, because the solder is not going to stick to anything that it runs off onto except the table, and that'll come right up. So you want to, you can take and desolder everything with your soldering iron, but you got to hold it up vertical so that the solder leaves the piece. I think that'll help you if you'll try it. It doesn't matter if you work on a big piece and you're up here and you got to get this this piece here out. You just melt. I just take my soldering iron, melt that solder around it, let it drip to the table, and then flip and do it on the other side. And now all of a sudden I just have eliminated a lot of solder that was on that piece. And then you can just, if you need to, you can start over. But when you melt your solder on your piece, you just cannot drip it. You can't take it off you can take it off laying flat. There's a thing called a solder sucker, and they use it for infants when they're stuffy and everything, and they pull everything out of their sinuses. But the same thing will work. It's called a solder sucker, and the same thing works to pull the solder off. Personally, I like to stick it up vertically, heat the solder up, let it run down to the table, and eliminate it that way. That's the best way, I think.
I'm sorry, I could not find the rebar. I don't even know. Sorry.
All right, I'll be right back, guys. Let me see if I can find some for you, because I don't want to. That question, I think rebar is really important, and we got people using it, so that's good. That's what we want. Hold on, everybody, don't go away.
Hurry back now,
I'm
because
trying.
I don't know the answers to all these questions here.
Go ahead, come on, let's go. Come on, watch out.
Okay.
Watch out. Let's go. Come on.
So we'll just sit here a minute. I do see Tool Studios. Have we ever considered taking the sailboat window apart and correcting it to complete the circle of the sun? No, we never have considered that because it's ours, and I always think of it as the reflection off the water. So, but no, we've never considered doing that. Did you find some? Where was it?
So, Tool Studios, yeah.
Tool Studios.
Yeah, we'll be firing that panel probably day after tomorrow.
Oh, you should bring it in and show them what you got. Everything that you
Yeah,
got.
because the mold with the humidity, it just takes a while for the mold to drill out. I got all the holes drilled in it.
Okay. You want to bring it in and show? Show them.
I'm not getting that again.
Okay. All right. We'll send you a picture tomorrow. How about that?
I'll send you a picture of the mold, yeah.
And the glass.
And
all the measurements and everything. Yeah, it's ready to go in the kiln.
Okay, so I guess let's do the close-up camera, Barb.
All right.
And what was your question about the rebar? How to apply it. You just want to see it.
And how to apply it, yeah.
Okay. All right, so if you apply your rebar like that, you're going to see it. What you do is and I'm just going to use this copper foil window just to show you how the rebar. Y'all, I got all kinds of stuff to show you tonight, but I'm glad we found some rebar. It goes on just like that. This is what you see. When you look at that window, you see when you're looking down, you see the fat part.
You can't see. You kind of can see.
And then when you look at the window, this is what you see. You see that very low 1/8 inch profile?
That's good.
That's what you see, okay? So keep in mind, even your rebars can be bent. They should be heated and bent. What are you doing, silly? Mary's driving us crazy tonight. So anybody, this is 1/8 by 1/2 inch steel rebar, and it is steel, but it is coated in nickel. And you have to heat this up and then get solder on it and then apply it to the lead. What's she doing?
I don't know.
She's got that paper.
Oh,
What paper?
she's got paper.
The one that was on your finger.
That was on my finger?
Or whatever.
Oh no. That's why she's barking at you. Anyway, if you're gonna do your thing here, this is what you want. You want to be able to solder it right on your joints right here. And remember, that solder joint should be a wave, just like that. Okay? It should just kind of flow up and down, just like that. But this is what your rebar looks like. And this is a little bit this is a little bit wider. This is for like a really big window. I prefer to use the 3/8 by 1/8 rebar so that I know that I don't have to notch my frame too far, because on each end of this, and I don't know, let me see if I have a marker here that I can show you. I don't know if I do, but each end of this, and I don't know if it'll show up. Can you give me a close-up, Barb, just for... Can you see that pencil mark right there? Going at that angle? Can you see that?
There you go.
Okay. So you see that angle? That's the angle before you put your rebar on your window. That angle needs to be cut, because that's where it stops, right at the very edge. And then that's where your molding goes around this. That's where your molding goes around. And then that's what keeps the window from sagging this way, like that, you know, up and down. So, yeah, we're good. I think we're good with the small camera, Barb. We can go back to the other one now.
Okay. Legend 27 wants to know, where else do they manufacture glass aside from Corning, New York? Are you talking about
What kind of glass?
blown glass?
Yeah, because
several manufacturers.
yeah, there's several manufacturers. You got here in the United States, you got a company called Anchor Hocking. They make all your Budweiser, Michelob bottles, anything for Anheuser-Busch. They crank out, you know, millions of brown bottles a day for Anheuser-Busch. They also make a lot of different jars and stuff like that. All the glasses that we drink out of are made right here in the United States. And if you look on the bottom, most of the time you're going to see an anchor with a circle around it. That tells you it's Anchor Hocking.
Mimi wants to know if we're still working with Rapid Resizer.
We are a little bit, but we're just, you know, we've got so many of these other drawings are done now, so we're not even taking any more work until after the first of the year.
Yeah.
So we're not drawing new windows. We are
Although
in.
we use them for small sun catcher patterns that we're working on to put on the website.
On the website, yeah. So we're working on that because we can load those.
But as far as using them for clients, we haven't been doing that. So not seriously into it.
Yeah. We did renew our membership with them, though, and they added a few new features to it, and I'm trying to think of what they are. But they did add some new features to the Rapid Resizer, and you know, we have other work coming up, but we're not going to start drawing new windows and stuff for several more months.
Magali wants to know, when removing the solder to fix a broken glass piece, I sometimes pull the foil from the adjacent piece. Do I need to lower my temperature, or do I just need to take my time and be careful?
No, Magali, I would, if the foil comes off of the other piece, it wasn't stuck there anyway, and because you're removing the foil from the broken piece, you've probably overheated the glue. So this is what I do, is when that second layer of foil comes off around the piece the pieces that are staying in the window, is I go ahead and take that off and cut them back to where they come back in, and then clean it with alcohol really well, and then refoil that, and then refoil the new piece. That's what I would do. Yeah, if it comes off, Magali, it's nothing you're doing wrong. It's just as you're heating the glass, it gets hot. It gets hot, and the tape fails, and that's just all that you can do. It's not that you're working too fast or too slow. And cutting your iron down isn't going to allow you to move forward with the project. It's going to take you forever. So yeah, just knock that piece out, and if your foil comes off, fine. If it doesn't, fine. Clean it and refoil it and go back to it, hon.
Mimi said, thanks for finding the rebar.
Yeah, oh, you're welcome, Mimi.
Pam wants to know where she can purchase the rebar and what is the purpose. The purpose is to make it stronger.
Yeah, and you can purchase the rebar at Sunshine Glassworks. You just want to ask for the reinforcing bar, and it comes. This is the 1/2 inch that I showed you guys. So, but yeah, at Sunshine Glass they carry the 1/4 to the 3/8 and the 1/2, and they're all by 1/8. If you're doing small stuff, the 1/4 inch is good, and if you need to bend it, you have to heat it to bend it. And always don't bend it less. You always bend it a little bit more so that it doesn't put stress on the window when you attach it. This can be bent. This can conform to every little thing in your window to make that window rigid and not come apart on you. But it may take a vise and a torch, and you make it so that it fits your window. So on the Merle's Inlet project, all of our rebars will be running vertical, and you can just barely see that edge, and that's all you're going to see in the Merle's Inlet project. And actually, you're not even going to see that because they're going to be behind the wall, so you won't even see them. They'll be on the back side. So.
Okay, we got 2 more questions, and then we're going to go to a glass chat. Ed's got something he wants to share with you guys. The question is, Melissa, and we're not going to have any more time for any questions, so you have to come back next week or send me an email. But Melissa wants to know, this piece of pink glass back here, what is it called? Give us that number.
All right, it's an Armstrong, Melissa. It's a AO 65 SRI streaky. I'm not sure what the R means. Ridiculously colored. But let me tell you something, and it's iridized, so it's really pretty. So this glass was bought for a very specific reason, which is our Merle's Inlet project. And y'all know that that project consists of sunsets and sunrises all along the marsh. So
Magali would like to know if you could tell us the size of the panel that you would need to use rebar in.
I would say to make a panel rigid, I would say anything 3x3. That's what I would.
Over 3x3.
3x3 or larger. Yeah.
Door panels.
Door panels, you should, anything, and they should run vertical. I mean horizontal in door panels, because when a door closes, it catches air, and eventually that window will bow, and the lead joints will crack, or the copper foil will just crack and come apart. So if you'll take and use, I don't recommend using the 1/4" reinforcing bar indoors. I recommend using the 3/8. Make sure you miter the back edge back at 45 degrees, and then you notch your molding to fit around the rebar. Because the whole idea with a rebar is, Barbara, if you'll push down in the middle, that's the whole reason for the rebar. This is what's holding your window up. As it heats up and it wants to sag and gravity starts working on it, when you notch this is in your molding. This is what, if you look at any church you can walk into, y'all, they all have reinforcing bars. Most of those bars are about every 16 inches, if not every 12 inches. They are notched into the molding, and that is what keeps your windows from sagging.
Okay. Pauline wanted to know if that R stood for ripple. Usually it does, but that's
not a ripple.
So I'm not sure.
I don't know what the R is.
It's a mystery. Okay, now we need to go to Glass Chat.
Okay.
And you've got something you want to share.
Well, I do, and
I
again,
am Alan is here.
I want to thank you, I am Alan, for sending me that package. And hey, you can't. Even the mailman couldn't destroy these things, buddy. So I want to share this with y'all. I'm gonna get mine out of the way because we've got these really. Okay, so I guess the story is that I am Alan, one of our viewers who's here tonight with us, everybody, bought an assortment of old glass cutters, and as a very nice gesture, thank you, sent me 3 completely different glass cutters that have been used thoroughly. They have 3 totally different wheel angles on them, and only one of them works, I am Alan, because I've tried all 3 of them. So I want to show you all this one. This is. Okay. Go ahead, hon. What you need?
He's particularly interested.
I'll bet, because when we get to that one, that's why I'm saving that one for last.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so this is just your basic. Okay, this is my ball cutter that I share with everybody here. This is a ball cutter made by Red Devil. Okay, so this cutter right here, this is the hang on. This is the 023, and what that is, that 023 is the angle on the wheel, and these two cutters here,
You might want to put them closer to the camera, maybe.
these two glass cutters here, okay, this is your Red Devil, this is the 023. This is the angle on the wheel. Now, I'm going to turn that sideways. Y'all,
That's better.
can you see how big that wheel is? Holy moly, look at that thing. That is really big. It's about 3/16 in diameter. It's quite large. Now, when we come over here to this one, y'all, this glass cutter is probably from the 40s or 50s. This is a Singer glass cutter, okay? And it has a very, very distinct, doesn't have a ball, but I'm going to call it a cracker. And it's got a very distinct cracker on it because I want you to see it. Look at that.
Should put it up to the camera a little bit more. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so as you see, it's flat and then it's curved. So this does a couple different things.
It doesn't roll off the table.
It won't roll off the table. So when we take this and we take the part that's round, and when it breaks, you hear it. You heard the tone change right there. Boom. Okay? So if we take, and I'm just getting some cutoffs. So this cutter doesn't work any longer because the wheel, I can see all the little pits on the wheel here. So this is basically, this is pitted and oxidized over time, and these are steel wheels. These are not carbide. These are steel wheels on your glass cutter. So if we take this cutter usually would have been used similar to this. You take that flat edge right there and you push down on it like that. You see that? Okay, so let's do that one more time. That's what this edge is for. We take that, we put that right there, we'll hold the cutter in place, and we break the glass, just like that. Okay?
That's cool.
All
I
right.
thought it was to keep it from rolling off the table.
Well, actually, and it fits really good in your pocket. All right, so here we go, I am Alan. This is a Miller's Falls. I've looked this up. I can't find it anywhere. Fletcher, back in the late 70s, early 80s, had a very similar cutter to this with a wooden handle. It was green. And I want you to look at the construction of this.
You'll have to hold it right there. You go.
So you see it has a little screw right here. This, let me get a pencil and I'll show you. That keeps my finger out of the way. So you see it has a little screw here. It has our notches for our 1/8 inch window glass and our 3/16 window glass. It also, this screw right here operates what's called a turret. Now there are 6 individual wheels on this turret, and as you wear these wheels out, you loosen that screw and you turn the turret. And all of the wheels, these are all the same angle wheels on here. They're all the same. But what they are is a 40-degree angle. That 40-degree angle allows you to cut, and I am Alan, that's working, baby. That 40-degree allows you to cut anything, okay? Whether we're cutting art glass, Jennifer, or if we're cutting tabletops or shelving glass. This cutter has the wheel to make it happen. And again, this is a Miller's Falls, and they both have S's on the back end of them, so they're both plural, Miller's Falls. And also on the cutter head is the Miller's Falls and their patent number, which is really cool. So a turret, most of the time you get a turret cutter, Barb, on a circle cutter.
Right, and I was thinking, I am Alan said it would be nice if he could get replacement wheels. Well,
You buy a new turret. You don't get the wheels. You just buy a new turret.
but his wheels his turret may still have good
Yeah,
color.
so this is what I would do, I am Alan, is I would loosen up that screw just a tiny bit and rotate the cutter head. And you want the number on the wheel to be perfectly in line with everything else. Okay, don't put it on an angle, because you're going to want to score like this. And if you got your wheel on an angle, you're actually going to be rotating on this rounded head, which is so sweet. If you look at the head look at the edge on this glass cutter, it's nice and round. And then look at the edge on this. This is about 28 degrees here. So, and then I'm looking at this, and this cutter has been beat up. I don't know if you can see that notch in the steel right there on this cutter head, but it's really hard to get it to you. But anyway, listen, y'all, there are glass cutters out there for every hand, and there are also have been glass cutters out there that are very minimal compared to the tools that we have to work with today. So think about that. Think about what tools that everybody had to work with. Just even just only say 30 years ago. Think about that. That's really not that long. But I want you to hear this cutter. This is a steel wheel, y'all, not a carbide wheel. Here we go. And again, when you get into a divot, you drive right out of it, and here we go. So what we did, and y'all, the edge on this looks really good.
It does look good.
It looks really good for a steel wheel cutter. So I want you to hear the difference. Let's roll a steel wheel. Let's roll a steel wheel, Barb. Here we go. Ready? Mm-hmm. Now let's roll a carbide wheel. Hear the difference?
I hear the difference.
So the steel wheel has a lot more noise to it because it's actually working harder to separate the molecules on the surface of the glass. It's actually working harder to create that score for you. It's probably working as hard as if you took a diamond and tried to scratch the glass. It's probably working that hard.
I have one more question
Go, Barb.
from Melanie.
Hey,
How
Mel.
often should you change the wheels?
Actually, until they...
Let me put this.
Melanie? Hey,
Go
Mel.
ahead.
How are you? I hope you're well, hon. You really don't... I have never changed the wheel on my circle cutter. And the 6 wheels that are on it, I still have 5 good ones. And I've had the circle cutter for 26 years.
So I think she was talking about just the cutter.
Oh, just the cutter head. What I would do, Mel, before you change the cutter head wheel, is take your straight pin and clean out that little, that little gap right there that's below the wheel that goes from one side of your cutter to the other. And if you'll clean that out, I think you'll find you may not need a new cutter wheel. And as soon as you clean it out, go ahead and dip your cutter head in some oil and then run it, 2 or 3 times straight line and see if that helps. The only reason you would need to replace your wheel, Mel, is if when you're scoring, it's going to do kind of like a flat tire going down the highway. If that's happening, then yeah, you need to replace it. But most often or not, the only way you need to replace your wheel is if you drop your cutter on a concrete floor, because the end where the head is heavier than the other end. So it's always going to hit, boom, right on and it's going to chip that carbide wheel, or at least put an imperfection in it. And every time you go down the glass, you're going to hear a skip.
Then you know you need a new one.
And I'm doing this on purpose, and I'll show you what it looks like when you break it. It doesn't look pretty. It's actually awful. Well, anyway, for me it worked. But let me tell you something.
You can do
it's
anything.
Spectrum. You can do anything with it. But everywhere that I let up the pressure to create a skip is a wonk in the glass right there. And you'll see that when you look at the edge of your glass. Right there, when you look at that edge of your glass after you score it, it'll tell you everything that you need to know about your cutter. But more than anything, I would clean the back side of the cutter head, because your glass picks up sand and desiccant and all those things that you don't realize are on that glass. And eventually, yes, they do build up and they become a hindrance to your cutting. So.
Thank you, Ed. That was very informative. I am Alan. Thank you so much for those cutters. Those were very interesting.
Yeah, man,
And,
they're as interesting as my old soldering irons. I love them. Thank you very much.
And so, Ray, I want to give a big shout out to you. Thank you so much for all your help. Our members are here tonight. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for your contributions tonight, and our subscribers. And even if you're not a subscriber, if you visited us tonight,
We want to thank you.
we want to thank you.
And we want to thank everybody that took classes with us this weekend. I had a wonderful time. I know Barb and Taylor had a great time, and we hope that you did. And come back and see us.
And so we are going to be back here next Monday
That's right.
at 7 o'clock.
And y'all, we want to let's give Ray a big thumbs up for helping everything and doing everything that he does. Not only to help us, but I know he helps our viewer community. And thank you, Ray. And
Thank
give
you,
Susie
everyone.
a big hug for us.
Thank you, everyone. We really enjoyed it.
Thank you, everyone. Good night.
Good night.